Hey, it's Toor. Welcome to the Everyday Investor TV show, the hottest investment show in the world. That's right. I said it. I don't care who knows it. This show is designed to help us grow our money. Everyday people teaching everyday people. This is our 20th year being on TV teaching real estate. And what I try to do is I try to make the show very simple, taking very complex ideas and breaking them right down so that a high school senior could understand it. If you cannot understand the concepts in this show, it's my fault, and I'll work harder to do that for you, because I believe that simplicity is the key to sophistication when it comes to most things in life, especially when it comes to investing. So, we want to be able to grow our money. You see, the challenge is often that we take our precious time. We have a job that we go to, and we're blessed if we have a job. We get paid in order to provide for our family. Let me say that again. We take our time, we go to work, we get a paycheck in order to eat. But imagine a life where money could make you money so that you could work a little less if you wanted to, and you could spend that time with family, friends, perhaps engaging in a purpose that's bigger than yourself. That is what the Everyday Investor TV show is all about. Now, when anybody offers you any type of investment opportunity, you always want to ask 4 questions to start. Number 1, what is the return on investment? Number 2, when do I get that return along with the money that I put in? And the reason why number 2 is very important is if somebody says to you that, this investment is a 20% return on your investment, meaning you invest $1,000 and you can make $200, 20%. But if you ask them, when do I get my money back? How long is this investment? And they tell you it's over 4 years, then really you're making only 5% annualized. Now, if you want to make 5% annualized, that would be good for you. But if you want more, it's very important to ask that question, when do I get that return? Number 3, you want to ask, what is the minimum investment amount needed? Well, how much do I need to put in to this investment opportunity in order to achieve that 5, 10, 15, 20%? And then lastly, and it's very important, that you ask, what is the risk? What is the worst case scenario? Ask those 4 questions, and then you can be able to do your due diligence. I mean, you may be able to ask, hey, what's the return on investment and when do I get it? If they tell you it's 20% over, 5 years, well, that's 4% annualized. If that's not good for you, then you can pass on that investment and you don't have to waste your time digging in further. Now, if they say it's 20% per year, and that's good for you, now we can dissect that investment more. So that's the questions that you want to be able to ask. There's all sorts of different types of investment opportunities. On today's show, super excited to have pre-construction condo expert Costas Kivelos from First Access Condos on the show. He's teaching us how we can make money investing in a condo at today's price, but not having to actualize it in terms of having a mortgage 3, 4, 5 years down the road. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Well, by the time any units are left at the sales center, prices have gone up significantly. You might experience 2 to 3, maybe 4 price increases since then, okay? You also have the remainder of the units, the runts of the litter per se. So you don't have the best floor plans to choose from. And the best thing to do is when you're making your investment, you want to get the best price so that you can make the most, and you want to get the best unit, best floor plan, so it'll be the first one rented or the first one sold when the time arises.
Hey, it's Sarah Larby here. Did you know that if you are selling your home or investment property, one of our preferred agent partners will sell it for you for free? That's right, 0 commissions. Head over to our website, everydayinvestor.com, to find out more.
Hey, this is Kyle Ford from Canada's Mortgage Choice. Are you on a variable rate, and are you concerned about the payment increasing while being on a fixed income? Did you know there are 1, 2, 3, or 4-year fixed term options that can stabilize your payment. Though we are at an all-time high, many of our clients in your similar situation are not wanting to lock in at the all-time high rates for 5 years. In a shorter term 1, 2, or 3 year option, you can get stability in payment, stress-free in terms of payment increases, and a shorter term so there's less of a penalty or no penalty at all if you change at the end of term. This is a solution that many of our clients are turning to help bridge the gap until we see more stability in rates. If this is something that you think I can help, don't hesitate to reach out to myself and team here at Canada's Mortgage Choice.
Hey, it's Rav. A few years ago, I learned how to trade stock options by taking the Theta trading course. My son, my friends, myself, all of us benefited immensely by applying their strategies, and I want you to have that same benefit by taking their course as well. I'm not receiving any monetary benefit whatsoever by telling you this. It's just that, as you know, I believe that knowledge mitigates risk. Visit their site to find out more. Hey, it's Rob. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. I'm sitting with my good buddy Costas from First Access Condos. And Costas, we call it First Access Condos because
I get you first access to all the best, hottest pre-construction condo projects in the GTHA.
And who wants to be second?
That's what we have our catchphrase, First Access Condos, don't be second. Yeah, first access. If you don't have first access, it actually costs you money in this business. So it's imperative to get in first.
That's what I was trying to get you to say. You don't want to be second. But seriously, you do call yourself First Access, and you don't toot your own horn, but I can for you. There's about how many different realtors in the Toronto Real Estate Board? 40, 50,000? How many is it now?
Well, there's more than that. And I actually just found out the number because I'm hired to mentor other realtors in pre-construction by the Toronto Real Estate Board. So they just hired me and I asked them, how many realtors do we have? And we have over 66,000 licensed realtors.
So 66,000. I mean, I know it's the largest board in the world, definitely North America, but if not the world, it's the largest board, real estate board. And so the Toronto Real Estate Board has close to 70,000 realtors. And how many are what we call platinum agents that work with the various developers, the various builders to be able to give their clients first access? How many of that close to 70,000 do we have that are considered platinum?
Well, real platinum agents, agents that have access to multiple developers, multiple sales teams, not just people that are a one-trick pony, right? We have just around 100 of us only. So there's a very small percentage, and the rest of the realtors buy through agents like myself.
So what happens is a builder builds on out. Now he's ready to sell those condos. And of the 100 platinum agents, of which you are one of, and now teaching other agents, how to do the same thing. They give you, let's say there's a unit of, let's say there's 100 different units. They may give you 20, 25, 30 units to be able to give to your clients. Is that how it works?
That's pretty much how it works in a nutshell. So out of the majority of their building, platinums are responsible for selling 75 to 85% of a project. And during peak times, we were doing that in less than a month. And I'm talking 500-600 unit towers. Now, when it slowed down, it took a little bit longer, but you still see us doing the bulk of sales. And what happens is we get the information before everybody else. And everybody knows that knowledge is power. And in the investment world, knowing something first puts you in a unique opportunity to make the most. So when you're working with somebody like myself, we pass along information to you long before the start of sales. So when it's actually game time, you're well informed and ready to make a decision when you get a chance to shoot.
And your clients, because they're with you, a platinum agent, you call them, VIP clients. What are the benefits of being a VIP client as opposed to just going directly to the sales center or with some other agent?
Well, by the time any units are left at the sales center, prices have gone up significantly. You might experience 2 to 3, maybe 4 price increases since then. Okay. You also have the remainder of the units, the runs of the litter per se. So you don't have the best floor plans to choose from. And the best thing to do is when you're making your investment, you want to get the best price so that you can make the most, and you want to get the best unit, best floor plan, so it'll be the first one rented or the first one sold when the time arises. On top of that, we also have special incentives offered to us, whether it's more extended deposit structures, greater caps. There's numerous things and numerous benefits that come along with working with someone like myself.
And what's happening right now? I mean, we are in 2023. Rates are high. Market's low. Of course, you've taught me that the only kind of category that hasn't gone down is actually the condo market. I've heard you say the condo market's increased year over year 5%, where everything else has gone down 5, 10, 15%. Is that correct?
That is correct. And I've always been a big proponent of investing in condos. My investment mantra basically says that I must invest my hard-earned money, my friends, families, and clients' hard-earned money into a need, not a want. And when it comes to housing, I consider houses to be a luxury product. They're not a necessity. They are more of something that I want to have, a status symbol, or etc. But when it comes to investments, if you invest in something that's a luxury, that's the product that takes the biggest hit when times are tough. When it comes to a need, a necessity, they are pretty insulated no matter what the market is. And that's what we saw with condos, because we can predict their appreciation very accurately based on the fundamentals that I use to guide my investors and our friends. Okay. We know that they actually went up 5% year over year, regardless of area.
And that's quite, I mean, when times were good, they were going up 15, 20% per year. Yes?
Correct. And condos have increased consistently over the past 10 years with slight bumps, but no significant drops. There's no peaks and valleys as we've seen in low rise.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say we're, buying a pre-construction condominium in Hamilton. Okay. So we're in Hamilton.
I love Hamilton. Fastest growing market in the GTHA.
Okay. What's my average purchase price?
Let's say we're going to pick up a nice 1+10 for around 500,000. We're going to use round numbers.
Okay, 500K.
Yeah.
And my down payment on this in total is what, 20%?
It's 20% in total, and that's really governed by CMHC, not the developer. So the developer must sell 75% of its residential square footage to get its construction financing. So when you buy into these projects, when you see the shovels in the ground, you should feel at ease knowing 75% is being sold and all the money's ready to be funded for the build. Okay?
Yeah. No, I love that. Just to reiterate, you're saying when we see construction start, that means 75% of the product is already sold.
Correct. Or they wouldn't be able to draw into that construction financing.
Okay. And this 20% is staggered over the 4 years, let's call it. Is that right?
Yes. So pre-COVID, we saw the bulk of that 20% being requested in the first 2 years after signing the contract. But one of the silver linings to this COVID storm cloud was we saw developers reach out to the financiers and be able to get extended deposit structures. And what we've seen over the last 18 months, 24 months, is that we see 10% within the first year, usually broken up into 5% increments. Okay. And then we see a third 5%, usually somewhere in year 2, if not year 3. And then the fourth and final 5% has become pushed now more often than not, all the way to occupancy. So you're generating a profit on the entire purchase price, but you haven't even put 20% down until you get your keys. It's leveraging at its finest.
Well, and it's kind of, I mean, you help me if my numbers are wrong here, but if I'm only doing 5% a year and this 500,000 is at today's price, I'm not even having to get a mortgage for it for 4 years from now, but every year that might increase conservatively 5%, and I'm putting 5% down, then I'm making 100% on my money, yes?
You are, but see, the beauty of pre-construction condos is because of these markets that we're dealing with and the immigration and the increases in the area, the shift in the demographics, the influx of dollars for infrastructure and new businesses coming in, we're seeing increases in profits significantly higher than 5% a year. What we've been seeing is 40 to 50% annualized returns on our investments for product that was sold in 2016, 2017, and was built and completed by 21 and 22. So we're seeing gross returns from 250 to 300%, and we're netting well over 200% on the investments that myself and my clients have done.
Yeah. And then the only, and I wouldn't say challenge, but the only thing is that we just got to make sure when we close on this, that the rent is going to cover my expenses. And somewhere in a place like Hamilton, we know that's the case. In a place like downtown Toronto, you've always taught me, Rav, there's nothing wrong with being cash flow neutral or even negative a few $100 a month because you're making way more on the increase in value.
And that is correct. And this is why I love talking to you, because you pay attention to when I talk, and I do the same when you give me advice. And the truth of the matter is, for a person who's a seasoned investor and has an established portfolio and has the bank to be able to handle a bit of a loss every month, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because that loss will help him out when he decides to sell in comparison to his capital gains and so forth. And if you have the money to own multiple ones of these, it's sometimes a benefit to take a little bit of a loss in one aspect of your business, right? When it comes time to deal with the CRA. But when it comes to Hamilton, that's why I put a lot of investors there. Hamilton, and this is a little known fact, Hamilton has consistently been increasing the cost of their rents all through the pandemic up until now. So when the rest of the GTHA saw a drop in rents during the start of the COVID pandemic, Hamilton was actually increasing and has continued to increase. So what we see is rental rates in Hamilton are just below Toronto's, very similar to Mississauga, yet purchase price in Hamilton is a third less than Toronto. And that is where you see the cash flow positive aspect. And that's why it is my number one pick for people when they're making their first condo investment. And that'll help catapult them into building a productive, beneficial, profitable portfolio in the future.
No, and it makes sense. I mean, if I've got, a nurse in Toronto, her income is going to be relatively the same as somebody in Hamilton. They're going to have the same income. So therefore, they're going to be able to afford, the person in Hamilton is going to be able to afford the same rent, if you will, as if they were in Toronto. Not that I would charge them that much if I was a landlord, but they could afford it. But what you're saying, the difference is significantly is the price point from the condo in Toronto from the condo in Hamilton. So I can buy something that's less affordable, but I can get even a better rent because the salary is pretty much the same.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of being so close yet just far enough. Although the population is significantly less in Hamilton, the amount of new condo product available to consumers is very, very limited. And that is where we see supply and demand and true economic fundamentals at play.
And when are you seeing everything's starting to release in the Hamilton area in terms of builders putting out their product for sale?
We had some great projects released near the end of last year with some great inventory remaining, and we have a couple new ones coming, but we have some great opportunities. So whoever wants to find out about Hamilton, reach out to us at firstaccesscondos.com. Make sure you click the Everyday Investor logo, Everyday Investor button there to let us know, because we will prioritize you. We always prioritize Rob's clients. Okay, we've done business for many, many years together, and you guys are our favorites. But click that, and then we'll give you a couple options, and myself or my assistant will find the right fit for you. But when it comes to investing, I tell people the best time to buy was yesterday, and since we can't do it yesterday, we should get it today, as opposed to waiting for future product, because nothing is going to get cheaper. I know you hear a lot of talk. We've heard it for the past decade, Rob, about how the market's going to crash and so forth. Well, the only dip we saw in the market now was when we saw insane increases in low rise. And now the prices are still very similar to a year before. So there's never been an actual crash in over a decade, and there hasn't even been a dip in condo prices. So do not wait for future product. See if there's something that works for you now.
And so what do you like? I mean, we've talked about the west part, the west, or going further west outside of Toronto. Anything else out there in the west end? I mean, you're not going as far as St. Catharines or Grimsby or Niagara.
No.
Hamilton is far enough for right now to make great returns in terms of going west?
I believe that condos and density are intertwined, right? And I don't believe anywhere past Hamilton really has the density that will see multiple buildings come up and create a synergistic effect. See, condos benefit from competition. So when more condos come up in an area, the price per square foot and the rental rates actually increase because people realize that as a condo area. And that's where they look immediately. So you don't really want to go to an area with standalone towers. Now, there's always exceptions near universities and so forth, but I would say as far west as Hamilton, we have a beautiful project coming up in Oakville in the next few months, which is great. It's just South Oakville. It's south of the QEW, and that will be coming up, okay? And that product is already fully excavated as well, so it'll be ready in 3 years as opposed to the usual 4 for those people that are looking for a place to live sooner or to start renting it out sooner.
And then what about north? When we go north of Toronto, are you bullish on any of that? Whether it's Thornhill, Richmond Hill, Newmarket, Barrie, how far would you go there?
Well, currently, we have been waiting for a diamond to be excavated per se in the Markham area. There is a master plan community being built by one of my favorite developers, Lifetime, and they've been in talks with the town of Markham now for over 5 years, and they finally are almost ready to launch Panda North. This is going to be a multi-tower, thousands of units near right where Buttonville Airport was. And that is extremely central in York region, a great area right next to the 404. And I think it is going to be a fantastic investment opportunity. And another fact that I like to share here with you guys, master plan communities tend to appreciate more than standalone towers every single time.
Okay, great. And let's go east. Are you Durham region? Are you liking Oshawa or Curtis or Whitby? What's happening out there?
Well, we tend to stop around the Whitby area, right? With the occasional project in Oshawa, but we have projects coming in Pickering, Whitby, and Oshawa, right on the water in Oshawa at the harbor. They're all coming early next year as well. See, what a lot of people don't understand is that we've had a significant shortage of new housing, new product in Toronto year over year. And we're not going to get into whether it's government greed or government red tape causing it. We're going to go down to the base. And the base of this is that we do not have the construction crews, nor equipment, nor manpower to build anymore. Everybody's working all the time. And because of that, we max out being about 30,000 new units short every year. If an average skyscraper tower is 500 units, that's 60 skyscrapers short to balance the market. Now, this past year where we had a market downturn due to rising interest rates, we sold significantly less product and less product came to market. So we're going to be short that 30,000 in 4 to 5 years, plus another 20 plus thousand. That's 50,000 units short. So we're going to be short a lot of product. So when people say, there's too much product being built, that's not true. And that's why we can look into these sub-markets that you're bringing up. So we have product coming east in Durham. We have product coming north in Markham. We have product west in Oakville and Hamilton. And of course, we have a lot of product right in the core of the city as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of product in the core. And, we were talking about if it's, just even a 800,000, unit in Toronto. Yes, I might be out of pocket. How much a month? Maybe 300, 400, 500? How much?
Currently, you're going to be out about $1,000 a month with the highest interest rates, highest rates we've seen in ages.
Okay, so currently, out of pocket, $12K. But be ridiculous with me. What's that increasing conservatively even right now?
That's going to increase by 5% year over year at minimum, and that's a $40,000 profit. So you're still netting 28K.
And even if I say, I know this is ridiculous, I shouldn't say it, I'm lying, but even if I say 3%, that's $24,000. So yeah, I'm out of pocket 12, but I make 24. And that's in the hard times. And you're saying this is not even true. In this last 12 months, it's increased factually 5%.
It's increased factually 5% in one of the greatest downturns we've seen in the past, for most of us, recent memory.
Yeah. Okay, a couple more minutes left here. Not to hold you to it, but look into your crystal ball. What's happening? Here we are in the first few months of 2023. What do you see for the rest of the year in terms of interest rates, in terms of the stock market, in terms of real estate housing? What's Costas' final thoughts on that?
Costas does Nostradamus. So basically what I predict that the market's still going to be a little sluggish in the first couple of months of 2023. Traditionally, January's been our best month, but I think we're still going to be a little slow. I think the BOC is finally going to stop rate hikes. I believe they should have stopped raising rates when inflation balanced out end of summer, and the last few are unnecessary. We all know, those of us that pay attention, that these rate hikes were necessary due to excessive government spending and supply chain issues. Now, the whole basis of the interest rate hike is to cut costs on necessities, but housing has gone up so much that the cost of living is actually continuing to increase based on the movement by the BOC. I think eventually they're going to realize what they're doing is not working. They're going to stop, and then you're going to see significant market uptake at the start of Q2 into Q3. And by Q3, we are going to be in one of the busiest markets that we've seen in the past decade. I'm very bullish on this market, very bullish. And if you have bought a product now or the past year, by the time it comes to market, it will be 3 to 4, 5 years from now. It will end up being one of the best investments you've ever made.
Love your style, Costas. Thank you so much for being on the show with me.
It was a pleasure, and best of luck to everybody in 23.
Yes, and thank you guys for watching. Without you, we would not have a show. Make sure you go to everydayinvestor.com. You can get a hold of Costas there. You can go to First Access Condos. You can also see this show and many others on demand. See you next week, same place, same time. Honey, I love you. I'll be home soon. Bye, everyone.
The mortgage world has changed. Has your advice? Are you looking for a modern approach to your mortgage planning process? Advice tailored to your unique, ever-changing circumstances? Whether you're upsizing, downsizing, purchasing, or refinancing, the Kyle Ford Mortgage team works with individuals and companies to custom tailor the right mortgage product for you. Working with a wide selection of lenders, we're here to serve our clients and help them achieve their real estate and retirement goals. Contact the Kyle Ford Mortgage team today, Canada's mortgage choice.
Hey everyone, my name is Danny and this is my beautiful wife, Jillian. Just like you, we want to have success in our life and our family, but also we want to make a difference in this world.
A couple of years ago, with the encouragement and support of Rav, my husband decided to build Oasis Home for Kids. It's a loving refuge for orphans and abandoned children in Haiti. I've been blown away by what's been done in the lives of these poor kids in such a short period of time. Haiti is the poorest country of our hemisphere and they need our help now.
Indeed, Haiti's facing a serious humanitarian crisis. Many live in extreme poverty. More than 50% of the kids do not attend school and have no hope. Many orphans and abandoned kids can be found on the streets.
How can you help? $1 a day will make a big difference in the life of a child. With just $1 a day, we can provide quality education and a meal for that child who would have no chance otherwise to learn how to read and to write.
A simple act of love is the most powerful answer to complex problems. I'm so grateful for Rav's support from the beginning. We thank you in advance for your generosity. Now, together, let's change the world.
Learn more about our work by visiting our website. Thank you.
Merci.